Hi, it's Kat again with House of Wine, and today I'm here to talk about this Muscadet that we have in our For the Love of the Loire 6-pack for May 2020. And this is a really fun wine to chat about, and I have Daniel McClaskey here with me. He is the co-owner of House of Wine, often not seen, but always there. And so he's here to ask us a couple questions and get the real answers.
So, Kat, tell me a little bit about how this wine was made and what it's made of.
Sure. So the primary grape in Muscadet, and the only grape, is Melon de Bourgogne, and it's a white grape. And the way that they make this wine is, in this case, they mechanically harvested the grapes, okay? And then what they do is they press the grapes, they get the juice, and they ferment it at really cool temperatures for a long, slow fermentation for 3 to 5 weeks. And the point of that is to keep those nice aromatics that we like and the fruitiness of the wine. Then after that, they rack it off the gross lees, which are the spent yeast cells, and they keep it on the fine lees, which are just a smaller amount of those yeast cells, essentially, and they put it into another tank on those fine yeast cells, and they let it sit there for basically like 7 to 9 months for quite a while they're stirring it, which is called batonnage. So they stir it up so that they can get more breakdown and autolysis of the yeast, and that way it gives it kind of like a toasty, nutty component. And then between March and May is when they bottle it, so it's quite young, the time right after. Obviously they harvest it in August or September, and then they bottle it in March or May, so very young wine. And from there, we drink it.
So, no oak on this one.
No oak and no malolactic fermentation,
Got
so
it.
no secondary fermentation that would give those buttery sorts of notes. So everything is just from the grapes and that primary ferment and the autolysis.
Cool.
Yeah.
What does this wine typically smell like?
Typically, Melon de Bourgogne or Muscadet, in this case, smells citrusy. It has a citrus note to it. Typically has a toasty sort of essence to it, maybe a hint of smoke sometimes as well, and a real crisp nature as well.
And here's the fun part. What does it taste like?
Well, let's try it and we'll taste it together. So you'll notice that the acid is really quite bracing. You can really feel it there, makes your mouth water. But you also have this roundness in the wine. It kind of sits in your mouth for a while. The body is really medium despite having that high acidity. There's a fleshiness to the wine, but it is really also citrusy, and it's got a litheness to it as well, a brightness. Really easy to drink. It's a really classic pairing for something like oysters.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's super fun wine. And another thing I love about it are the bubbles. There's not bubbles, but they're what we would call spritz or effervescence, just a little bit. Yeah, and so it makes it really fun and really easy for everyday drinking.
The jazz hands of wine.
The jazz hands of wine, absolutely.
Anything other than oysters this pairs with?
Yeah, I mean, you can pair it with any sorts of appetizers, charcuterie plates, fish dishes, great for sitting on the patio, great for summer weather because those bubbles, not bubbles, but the effervescence is a little refreshing.
Oh, okay. Well, perfect. Well, thank you so much for telling me about it.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking. Cheers.